Renowned American televangelist and preacher Creflo Dollar established World Changers Church International in College Park, Georgia. The prosperity gospel movement, which he helped found, advocates the idea that one can improve their material riches, health, and spiritual rewards by believing in God, speaking positively about God, and donating to religious charities. This movement, which Creflo Dollar has helped to establish through his teachings and leadership, has numerous admirers and detractors. Dollar Jr. came into this world in College Park, Georgia on January 28, 1962. The importance of prayer, dedication, and a life governed by spiritual ideals was inculcated in him by his parents. His early exposure to Christian teachings and the support he received from his family laid the groundwork for his eventual call to ministry upon graduation. After finishing elementary and secondary school, Creflo Dollar continued his education at what is now the University of West Georgia College, where he received a bachelor's degree in education. This degree allowed him to fulfill his lifelong dream of being a teacher and mentor to others. His experience at West Georgia College was formative both academically and personally, and it was during this time that he started to hone his future goals. Dollar made a pivotal decision to shift his focus in the mid-1980s from teaching and leading to spreading the message of faith, hope, and spiritual empowerment. This internal calling to serve a higher purpose became more apparent as he thought about how he could make a greater impact on people's lives. His transition into ministry marked the beginning of his lifelong journey as a preacher and religious leader whose teachings and outreach would have a profound impact on the lives of millions. His schooling provided him with a distinct viewpoint when it came to crafting sermons and conveying his message. In 1986, Creflo Dollar established World Changers Ministries Christian Center with the intention of establishing a spiritual community that would empower individuals through Christianity. His goal was to reach a large audience. The original meeting place of the church in College Park, Georgia, was an elementary school cafeteria. Despite the small turnout, Dollar was adamant about moving forward with his plan. He drew a varied membership that was ready to learn how to apply biblical concepts to improve their lives spiritually and materially through his charismatic preaching style and emphasis on faith-based prosperity. His ministries flourished as news of Dollar's energetic style of preaching and his emphasis on real-world solutions to common problems spread. The church's attendance started to climb as a result of Dollar's ability to relate to his followers and provide them with practical, faith-based messages about how to flourish. His lessons on good money management, maintaining an optimistic outlook, and the strength of faith in the face of adversity were inspiring to others who aspired to achieve both worlds. Beginning as a handful of people in a school cafeteria, ministries eventually expanded into a robust body of believers. College Park, Georgia's enormous World Dome, which can hold 8,500 people, became the new home of World Changers Church International in 1995. This transition marked the church's growth from a small neighborhood gathering place to a nationally recognized megachurch with the capacity to hold services for thousands of people. Accomplishment for Dollar and his ministry, it demonstrated the expansion of the church's membership and its financial stability. Members and supporters of the church contributed $20 million to build the World Dome. That his supporters were prepared to invest in the church and remain faithful to his vision was evident. The ministry's trajectory after relocating to the World Dome, the church could meet the needs of its soon-to-be tens of thousand member congregation. The church's infrastructure, worship services, and community outreach initiatives were all enhanced by the move to a larger venue. This was necessary to accommodate World Changers Church International's expanding influence within the Christian community and its increased exposure through media and television. In addition to its main campus in College Park, the church expanded its influence to other cities in the United States and around the world through the establishment of satellite campuses. People from all across the globe were able to join the World Changers community and hear the gospel preached at these satellite campuses. An important part of Dollar's rise to prominence has come from Creflo Dollar Ministries. Messages centered on faith-based concepts, financial empowerment, personal development, and spiritual progress are aired internationally to millions of viewers on the daily television program that has become a cornerstone of Dollar's ministry. Dollar was able to broaden his influence outside of his congregation, World Changers congregation, and influence Christian television with Changing Your World. In addition to his television presence, Creflo Dollar has written multiple books that explore his teachings on faith, finances, and Christian living. He has positioned himself as a leading voice in the prosperity gospel movement through this platform, inspiring individuals to seek greater spiritual and financial well-being. Readers can have a deeper knowledge of his philosophy through his books. Among his best-selling works are the following 8 steps to manifest your ideal life, the structure of a prosperous life, complete prosperity in all areas of life, 14 steps to win in difficult times and get God's complete blessing and God's answers to the hardest problems we face. Dollar has been successful in reaching a large audience with his writings, which encourage readers to have an abundance mindset, let go of limiting ideas, and follow divine guidance to achieve their dreams. His teachings on prosperity, faith, and personal empowerment had an impact on modern Christianity, but his career was not devoid of problems and conflicts, as is typical of many popular individuals. An argument between Dollar and his teenage daughter made headlines in 2012 and prompted heated debate among his fans and detractors in June, leading to legal issues for Dollar. The elder daughter of Dollar verifies the younger daughter's account to the authorities that her father violently seized her neck, threw her to the floor, and hit her because she wanted to go to a party. The police took Dollar into custody and charged him with 2 misdemeanors, simple violence and cruelty to minors. Following his detention and subsequent release on bond, Dollar's private life and character came under intense public and media scrutiny. A man was accused of crimes that outraged the religious community. Following his detention, Creflo Dollar strongly refuted the accusations, claiming they were baseless and that he had not physically attacked his daughter. On Sunday, he spoke to his audience at World Changers Church International about the situation, explaining that some of Dollar's fans were happy for him when he denied the claims, but others were sad and worried about how the 2012 incident had damaged Dollar's reputation. Supporters and detractors of Dollar's domestic violence acts were understandably outraged by his prominent position in Christian teachings. His detractors said the episode revealed a larger problem with the disconnect between Dollar's public persona as a pastor and his actual behavior. Dollar's backers rallied swiftly to his defense, praising his private life and stressing the value of compassion and understanding during difficult times. They contended that everyone is fallible, and that Dollar's willingness to be transparent with his congregation and comply with legal procedures demonstrated humility and accountability to many of his followers. He showed fortitude and integrity by confronting the situation directly while claiming innocence. However, the episode only served to amplify the criticism leveled against him by those who were already critical of his teachings from prosperity theology and his lavish lifestyle. Some questioned the morality of Dollar's conduct, and the controversy around his ministry's veracity and honesty heated up after his incarceration. Crisis Shech's ministry kept growing, and his congregation was very supportive. He was able to stay strong and continue leading the Christian community, which showed his resilience and the devotion of his followers. As time went on, the incident became less of a focus because Creflo Dollar was able to expand his teachings through his television ministry, books, and public speaking engagements. Dollar has made no secret of his conviction that God intends for his followers to have material prosperity. He has amassed a considerable fortune over the years, which he uses to fund his lavish lifestyle, which includes private jet travel, various mansions, and high-end automobiles. Those who disagree with Dollar's way of life contend that his focus on money and success is at odds with Jesus' revelations regarding Dollar's multi-million-dollar residences in affluent districts and his collection of luxury cars, including Rolls-Royces. Have reinforced criticism that Christians prioritize spirituality above money due to the wealth of religious leaders like Dollar. In 2015, Dollar began collecting donations in order to purchase a private jet, specifically a Gulfstream G650. He asked his supporters to contribute $65 million so he could purchase a new airplane to replace his aging one. The request was explained as an essential part of his ministry's mission, which included enabling members to travel. A large number of people, both religious and secular, voiced their disapproval of the idea of sending church members, many of whom were economically disadvantaged on humanitarian missions and gospel propagation trips abroad. Attribute to such a lavish acquisition. Many viewed the pastor's demand for a private jet costing $65 million as exorbitant and disconnected from the socioeconomic reality of his church. God desires his followers to have abundant lives, according to proponents of dollar and prosperity theology who contend that there is nothing wrong with seeking material rewards. After the public voiced its disapproval of the plane request, Creflo first tried to justify it by saying the plane was necessary for the global mission of his ministry. Nevertheless, Dollar's ministry subsequently removed the jet, and the fundraising campaign was halted due to the outcry. Dollar later preached that he would not let criticism from outside forces affect his faith or ministry vision, and that the decision to request the plane was motivated by the needs of the ministry, not by his own greed. The campaign was accessible online. Even though he was the target of criticism, Dollar's ministry flourished and his church mostly supported him. The dispute was seen by many of his supporters, their pastor's vision and their faith as being under assault. Despite its eventual resolution, the issue surrounding the purchase of the jet continued to influence public and religious perceptions of the prosperity gospel preachers. A serious form of prostate cancer was diagnosed with Creflo Dollar in early 2011, and he made the announcement public. Throughout his fight with prostate cancer, Creflo Dollar stayed faithful to his faith, drawing strength from his spiritual beliefs in times of darkness. The diagnosis was a spiritual test that would test his beliefs to their very core. By directly relating his own experiences to his teachings on faith healing and the efficacy of prayer, Dollar brought them to a far more intimate level. Dollar's story to his followers on the power of prayer was shaped by his experience with cancer. Dollar emphasized that his faith in God's ability to heal was not an empty slogan, but rather an anchor he drew on every day as he battled illness. Dollar remarked that he was able to confront his sickness fearlessly and persistently because of his religion. Additionally, Dollar sought medical attention. Many of Dollar's followers could relate to his story because they too had endured similar hardships that solidified their faith in him as a spiritual leader who knew their anguish and hardships. The prosperity gospel, sometimes called the Word of Faith movement, posits that one can achieve money prosperity, good health, and personal achievement via the practice of faith-positive discourse and the generous support of religious causes. Creflo Dollar is a leading figure in this change, and the foundation of her ministry is the belief that God Christians should live lavish lives as a demonstration of their faith, according to the prosperity gospel, which has attracted many people seeking financial breakthrough and personal success. Has encountered considerable pushback from Christians who believe his reading of the Bible distorts Christian teachings and puts too much emphasis on money and material possessions rather than the more traditional emphasis on spiritual development and helping others. Other prominent Christians have harshly criticized Creflo Dollar, oppose the prosperity gospel because they believe it contradicts Jesus Christ's teachings about compassion, humility, and helping those in need. It is said that the gospel teaches us to love God, love our neighbors, and live a. Prosperity gospel proponents have faced public backlash from prominent evangelicals like John Piper and Rick Warren, who see it as a distortion of biblical ideas that could lead people astray. Modern Christian philosophy and the church's destiny are more broadly affected by the critiques leveled at Creflo Dollar and the prosperity gospel movement. It reveals a more fundamental conflict within Christianity regarding the proper interpretation of Scripture and the function of money for believers. Considering the genuine significance of God's favor for numerous established Christian authorities, the proliferation of the prosperity gospel poses a threat to the veracity and honesty of Christian doctrine. Their main concern is that the gospel's call to selflessness could be watered down if prosperity teachings promote material wealth and success at the expense of spirituality. As a pastor and televangelist, Dollar has faced many obstacles along the way, but he has also accomplished much. He has been the unwavering leader of his ministry through the controversy that has surrounded his teachings on wealth, personal life, and success. His unfaltering commitment is demonstrated by his capacity to hold on to a devoted following, adjust to constructive criticism, and continue championing values grounded in religion.